Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. Going to get a bit of an update on my side. We've seen a bit of footy so far, a few practice games rolling through, and it's been good, but it's also given us a bit to think about. I know I've been doing some tinkering. I'm sure you have too, so I'll take a look at that in a moment. Just wanted to give the Patreon a quick little shout out. If you haven't seen it already, there's a bit of information if you're interested in checking it out. Got the first one-on-one access Patreon through, which was really cool. We've been having a really good chat there. So, as I always say, if it's not for you, that's no dramas. But I'm trying to push a little bit because it does help the channel, and I'm keen to buy a tripod to do a bit of goal kicking videos. So I can sort of help out with that. Now, if we just take a look at my side, I've done a little bit of tinkering. And this isn't final. Now, well, of course it's not final. We've got bloody ages to decide. But it's with the forward line. And I was just tinkering around today. So I'll show you a couple of options that I've been thinking. So the back line, not much movement at all. Houston came into my side in the last video that I did. Doherty's a really interesting one, I reckon. I think a few people are perhaps getting a little bit nervous. He didn't dominate, but... And myself included, I didn't see the game, and I heard a few whispers about, a few people concerned, and I just thought, is it going to be too tough for him after such a long break? Newman's a better player now, Simpson's still kicking. But I saw that he built into the game, and he hasn't played for ages, so I think we just need to cool the jets and have a bit of faith in him, because he's super cheap for what he can do. He's missed such an amount of footy. His number one goal would have been to get through. He was named in Carlton's best, had 20-odd touches, 79 SuperCoach, but 53 of those came in the second half. So we might like to see a slightly better performance in the second Marsh Community Series match, but I still think we should be reasonably comfortable with that selection, so don't go ditching him just yet. As you can see, the midfield hasn't really changed at all, except for Green in there, and I'll elaborate a little bit in a second as to how I manoeuvred that, but those premiums have stayed the same. Over the course of the pre-season, they've changed a little bit, but for the minute, they've stayed the same. And the rucks, Grundy and English, stay the same. I heard that English was dominating in the practice game the other day, just an unofficial practice game. It was intra-club, but he looks like he's ready to explode now. Now, you people are going to have a real crack at me here because I talked this man down. I made an individual video saying I thought he was a burn man. So I've got to preface this by saying this is simply tinkering. Devon Smith has entered Shorty's forward line. Before you smash me in the comments, just give me a second. Now, why did I just want to have a look at that? And I am purely just having a look at it. Greenwood was in there, and he was really good, and I'm a massive Greenwood fan. But Devon Smith had the 66 SuperCoach points in the second half on Thursday night for a total of about 87, I think it was. But the main reason, it wasn't like that performance just won me over and I thought I've got to get him in. But I saw Green play. I saw that, Bonner's been a guy I've been thinking about bringing in for a little bit. And even Tom Sparrow, I'm really starting to like the look of him. You also would have noticed that Tom Williamson isn't in my back line, but that's just how it fell. I've still got 46k there, so I could easily just whack him straight back in there. But Tom Sparrow, I'm really interested to see what he does. Inside mid for the Ds, can he get a game? I do like the look of him. But anyway, back to the original point. I wanted to get Bonner in there and Green in there because previously, I reckon a downfall in some of my sides has been having good premiums and the odd good breakout contender. But I reckon I've fallen down by being a bit too weak on the field with some of my rookies. Probably having too many 123k blokes, in at M7 and M8. And then, a couple in the back line, or just too much exposure to blokes on the field that just dish up 30s and 40s. And Green looked really impressive. Taranto goes down, so he's got to be a really good chance. And Bonner as well, reading in the paper today, he looks like a really good chance to debut. and he showed some good signs. So, look, I'm just going to have a bit of a play around, and I just wanted to see how it would look with Devon Smith in there. Albeit, Jack Stephen is also a guy that I'm really keen to see. Monday I'm going to the footy, heading over to Colac to see the Cats and the Bombers, and I'll have front row seats to Devon Smith and Jack Stephen. And I feel like Greenwood's been harshly done by here because I really do like what he brings to the table, but I think Stephen and Smith at their best produce better numbers than Greenwood, but I also think Greenwood's the safest pick of the lot of them. I think Greenwood's an absolute Monty to average 91, 92, 93, but I'm not sure he can go much beyond 95. Where Stephen and Smith, at their best, they're high 90s guys. Particularly Stephen, I think he, if fully fit, has a lot of upside. So just playing around, because I do feel it is important to have some of these rookie type players that can score well, because like I said in the past, I've had some playing rookies, everyone's playing, I'm having good scores, but I lose the points and the rankings when I get too many 40s and 50s on the field, when other blokes, have maybe gone for a high draft pick who's capable of scoring well and that sort of thing. So that was just my thinking there. I mean, rookies we'll hone in on once we see the round one teams and all that, but I just wanted to have a bit of a look at it. And you could even have a look at it with Stephen in there as well. I mean, that could be how I go. Also, you could have a look at a number of things. There's definitely plenty to think about. And Bonner could not get selected. Green could not get selected. It all depends. I might find myself short of coin. I might find that, if Bonner's not picked, I've got probably 80 odd K up my sleeve. It all depends which of these rookies get selected. But yeah, it's starting to get really interesting. So I'd love to see your thoughts on how my side's going, but also how your team is going too. Because I can't wait to see a few more of these matches. I'm hanging out to see just another glimpse of some guys I'm interested in, because one game, okay, we get a little bit of a sample, but I'm super keen to get a second look at it. So we'll get a chance for that pretty soon. But yeah, it's not long now. What is it, 16 days, something like that. So it's starting to get pretty serious and we're really starting to finalise these sides. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the video. We'll definitely have a fair bit of content coming up throughout the week. I've got a couple of videos in mind, so stay tuned for that. And of course, over the weekend and just after, will be geared all about what happened in those practice games. So stay tuned for that. Cheers.